Have you ever felt like you're screaming into a sky that refuses to answer? Just breathe. Feel the weight in your chest, the kind that doesn't quite leave, no matter how many times you try to let it go. There are nights when the silence isn't comforting. It's heavy, pressing in from every side, making even your heartbeat sound too loud in the quiet. Maybe you're tired of carrying questions that never find their way into words. Maybe you've been waiting for a sign, a voice, a whisper, anything that says you're not forgotten. It's strange, isn't it? How waiting can ache in your body as much as in your soul. You keep moving, keep hoping, even when hope feels like a thread that might snap under the weight of another day. You don't tell many people about these wounds. You hide them deep behind smiles and small talk because you've learned that not everyone understands the kind of tired you feel. Sometimes, when you close your eyes, you wonder if anyone sees the battles you fight in silence. You wonder if the emptiness is all there will ever be. You've prayed, you've pleaded, you've asked for answers that don't come. And still, you keep going, even when it feels like you're walking through fog, heart heavy, steps slow. But what if the silence isn't a void? What if this quiet space is something else entirely? Maybe it isn't abandonment. Maybe, just maybe, this silence is a gentle preparation. Something is shifting, even if you can't see it yet. Let the question linger in your heart. What if the silence is not the end, but the beginning of something you can't imagine yet? Have you ever noticed how sometimes the weight you carry feels heavier, even though no one else seems to see it? Maybe there are days when you wake up already tired, as if you've been running a race in your own mind all night long. There's a kind of exhaustion that doesn't go away with sleep, a quiet fatigue that lingers deep inside, untouched by rest or distraction. It's the sort of weariness that makes you wonder if anyone else could possibly understand. How long have you been holding on to a pain that you can't quite name? Maybe you've gotten so good at hiding your wounds, you've even hidden them from yourself. It's easy to tell yourself you should be stronger, that you shouldn't let doubts in, that faith is supposed to be unwavering. But even the strongest hearts falter. Even those who believe deeply have moments when the silence becomes too much to bear. Do you ever find yourself feeling guilty for not feeling stronger? For questioning things you thought you'd already settled? There's an ache that comes from wanting to do everything right, but feeling like you keep falling short. Sometimes it's not just the world that's silent. It's your own soul too. You try to pray, to hope, to keep going, but the words don't come, or if they do, they feel empty. And then comes the shame, the sense that maybe you're failing, not just yourself, but something bigger. When was the last time you let yourself feel what's really there beneath the surface? Maybe you've built walls so high that not even you can see over them anymore. Have you ever wondered if, in trying so hard to hold everything together, you've lost touch with the parts of you that are hurting the most? There's no judgment here, just the invitation to be honest, even if only for a moment, about the struggle you're carrying. There are nights when the silence feels less like an absence and more like a blanket, thin but enough to soften the ache. Sometimes, in the deepest hush, I sense a quiet stirring, as if beneath all this weight, something small and green is pressing up through the darkness, searching for the surface. I remember mornings when I woke with a little more breath in my lungs, though nothing in my world had changed. How does a seed know when to break open? How does dawn decide to return, however slowly, after so long behind the clouds? I think of the times I was caught by a memory of laughter, so faint I almost missed it, or the way, on the edge of giving up, my hands kept moving anyway, carrying me through another hour, another day. There were moments when the heaviness in my chest loosened for no reason I could name. A sigh, a sense of nearness, comfort that arrived softly, unannounced, asking nothing in return. Maybe the silence is not empty. Maybe it's a womb, holding what I cannot see, shaping what I don't yet understand. There are days when the ache feels ancient, but even then, a breeze will lift the curtains and light will spill across the floor, as if to remind me that waiting is not the same as being forgotten. Sometimes I wonder if the ground that seems barren is quietly at work, roots weaving, moisture gathering, the first fragile shoots getting ready to appear. Perhaps what feels like stillness is really a pulse, and what looks like emptiness is only preparation. Even now, I sense a gentle invitation. Not a command, not a promise, just the possibility that something is happening beneath the surface where my eyes cannot reach. If I listen, I hear it. The softest whisper, the almost sound of hope growing in the dark. There's a name for this quiet ache, for the hush that fills the room after every question dissolves in the air. It is not abandonment, though it often wears that mask. Perhaps this is the silence of a God who remains, hidden, yes, but never absent. Maybe these days of stillness are not a pause in the story, but the deep breath before something new begins. What once felt like emptiness is not a void, but a womb cradling possibilities I cannot yet see. I begin to understand. You are not frozen in time, nor lost in waiting. You are being shaped in secret. The seeds buried in darkness are not forgotten. They are held, quietly preparing for their hour. Even the shadows that linger at the edges of the morning hold the promise of light, the faintest outline of hope returning. What seemed like the end might be nothing but a hidden beginning. Why called absence, perhaps, is a form of care too deep for words, a nearness that does not announce itself. The world around me slows, breathes, and for the first time, I sense that I am not alone in the quiet. There is meaning being woven in the places I cannot reach. It is possible that this silence is not an answer withheld, but a gentle invitation to trust the unseen. The presence I long for is already here, veiled, patient, waiting for me to grow into its embrace. Every hesitation, every sigh, every moment of stillness is part of the gestation, the slow unfurling of something sacred. So I give a name to this journey, the silence that heals, the darkness that prepares, the pause that is not punishment but protection. In this space of waiting, I am being remade. The light is not gone. It is simply learning how to enter me in a new way. Maybe right now your chest feels lighter, as if a knot has loosened somewhere deep inside you. Or maybe there are tears you didn't expect, finally finding their way out after so long. It could be that you're just sitting in quiet, not sure what to call this feeling, but sensing that something is shifting just a little. If what you've heard so far has made sense, even if you can't explain why, that's not a failure. It's already a trace of faith being born in you. You're not strange for longing for healing in silence, or for feeling both hope and hesitation at the same time. Sometimes all it takes is a single word, a single pause, to reveal how much we needed someone to name what we carry quietly. If this message found a home in you, let your heart respond in its own gentle way. A whispered yes, a silent prayer, or a simple amen. Maybe it's as easy as touching the screen, as if to say, I am still here, and something in me is listening. There are others, others who are also sitting in their rooms, letting these words echo through their own hidden wounds, holding on to hope in secret. You are not alone in this quiet waiting. Even in silence, there's a community opening wide, a gathering of souls who understand, even if they never speak your name. Sometimes, just knowing that others are also feeling, hoping, and healing in the shadows is a comfort all its own. Stay here for a moment longer in this sacred hush. Something holy is drawing near, softly, quietly, almost within reach. The silence is not empty. It is the doorway to something more, and soon, what you have been waiting for will reveal itself. Maybe now, in this hush where your heart finally breathes, you sense it for the first time. God never left your side, not even for a moment. Through the long nights, the restless questions, and the ache that felt endless, He was quietly holding the space around you, gentle, patient, undemanding. Even when your prayers dried up or your words tangled in doubt, His nearness never depended on your strength or certainty. Jesus didn't come seeking the strong. He came for hearts worn thin, for those who have nothing left to prove and no reason to pretend. You don't need to impress Him or earn His attention with flawless faith. The love that found you in your silence is the same love that stayed when you felt most lost. There is nothing you could have done to make Him walk away, Not on the days you felt unworthy, not in the moments you thought about giving up. The weight of performance, the tally of efforts, the pressure to always have hope, none of these are yours to carry. God has always known your story, even the chapters you hide. He has always seen you, and He still chooses you, just as you are. Let that truth settle in your chest. You are already held, already wanted, already safe. Maybe the silence was never empty, but filled with a presence that heals in ways words cannot. And perhaps all this gentle closeness, this quiet rescue, is something He's been whispering over your life since the beginning, an ancient promise waiting to be heard anew. What if He has already spoken the words your soul longs for, words that echo through centuries, ready to meet you right here, right now? Maybe you never realized it, but this journey you've taken through silence, longing, all these hidden wounds, already has a name in the ancient words. There are moments when the soul runs out of prayers, when all that remains is a quiet ache and the stubborn hope that someone is still listening. It's in this fragile place that an old promise rises, not as a lesson, but as a gentle presence that finds you exactly where you are. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147 verse 3. This isn't just a line from another century. It's a hand reaching into your now, into the hollow places you keep hidden, into the ache you don't have words for. This is not medicine you have to earn. You don't need to prove your pain or explain your emptiness to be seen. These words see you first. They name what you can't name, hold what you can't hold, offer what you thought might never come, a healing that does not rush you, a care that does not ask you to pretend you are whole. In this moment, you're not asked to be strong, to recite faith, or to gather yourself up. The promise is already here, quietly binding what was torn, gently tending what you keep covered. This presence moves slower than fear, deeper than shame, like a whisper that lingers after all the noise is gone. Let yourself feel it. Even now, especially now, your wounds are not invisible. You are not alone in the silence. There's a love that sees every hidden ache and without hurry or condition begins to heal. Maybe today prayer is simply standing, or maybe it is just letting yourself breathe gently with hope. Faith does not always look like great strength or loud words. Sometimes it's soft, like the way a seed grows quietly in the darkness while you simply rest. You do not need to run. The word planted in you grows in its own time, even while you are tired and silent. Perhaps your faith today is in the way you keep living, even when your body aches and your heart feels slow, or in the simple courage it takes to wake up and face another morning. The path ahead might not require action or answers, but only that you remain. Sometimes just staying right where you are is a sacred response. You're allowed to walk slowly. The journey is not always about outward change or visible strength. Sometimes it is about breathing through the ordinary, carrying hope quietly, and letting God's presence hold you in your silent places. Even in the routine and the unnoticed minutes of your day, there's a quiet kind of devotion, one that does not need to prove itself. Maybe faith is not about overcoming, but about staying present, about letting the promise of love rise in you, small and persistent, even when everything feels still. The invitation now is not to strive, but to remain, to let your life, as it is, become an answer, to trust that the sacred is woven into your ordinary and that your gentle endurance is enough. Perhaps the way forward is within. The path of healing and belonging has already begun, even if it is slow and hidden. Here, in your silent prayers, your tired hands, your waiting heart, here, faith is alive. And that is more than enough. Father, I don't have the right words. You know every part of me, even the places I keep hidden, even the wounds I'm tired of carrying and pretending I've already healed. Sometimes my prayers sound more like silence, like a sigh I can't put into sentences. But I believe you hear even the quietest longing, the smallest hope. I'm moidi gu. To stand here empty-handed, not sure if faith is even what I feel. Maybe it's just staying, breathing, not running away. I don't want to perform strength anymore. I just want to be in you, even if all I can offer is my silence and my waiting. I confess I don't know how to surrender completely. There's still a part of me that clings to old fears, old doubts. But even trust that you are patient with my process, gentle with my unfinished places. Thank you for not turning away when I thought I was too lost to be found. Thank you for holding me when I couldn't hold myself together. You have been here in the silence, in the spaces where I thought I was alone. You have been the presence in my everyday, in each breath that I take, in each small act of hope. Teach me to trust without always needing to feel. Remind me that I don't have to prove anything, that even in my weakness, I belong here. Let me rest in the truth that your love has never depended on my perfection. I am learning that healing is slow, like a seed growing in the dark, like life rising from a silent valley. Father, I place my hidden wounds in your gentle hands. I know you see, you stay, you heal, even when all I can offer is my honest, unfinished heart. Thank you for not giving up on me. I am here. I am yours. God is still with you. Even when you can't feel him, he remains gentle, constant, and patient. The seed planted in the quiet places of your heart today will grow in its own time under his care. You don't have to force anything. You don't have to prove your worth. If today all you managed was to breathe and remain, know that this too is prayer. This space is yours, a soft place to rest, a reminder that you are loved, seen, and held. You are not alone, and you never have been. If these words found a home in you, let your heart respond with a simple amen. Perhaps like this video as a silent act of faith, or share it with someone who might also be waiting in the quiet. You belong to a community that walks gently, that understands the weight of silence, and honors the slow healing of the soul. Here, you can return anytime you need to breathe, to rest, or to remember that you're not forgotten. If your heart longs to continue this journey, know that this is a safe place for you, and you are welcome to walk with us at your own pace. May peace settle softly on you now. May you trust that even in your unfinished stories and hidden wounds, God's love is steadfast. Rest tonight knowing that healing is happening, even when it's slow, and that you are always held in grace.